Happy Monday. It is a solo pod. It is probably very loud for you. I mean, not my voice, but the distortion because I have fans on and windows open. And you're lucky I'm not sitting in my front yard. It's hot, and it's only supposed to get hotter this week. So a Pants Off podcast is perfectly fitting. I have a feeling you will not be wearing pants at all this week. Today, it was probably just shy of 100 here, but they say by Tuesday, Wednesday, we're looking at 108, 110. So I'm sure it will also be hot where you are. So prepare yourself. Drink lots of water. Don't wear pants. Don't smear yourself in butter. That won't help. Although it's super sexy, it will not help you. So Stench working double, triple, quadruple shifts super late. I can't remember exactly what's going on today. I just remember that I need to do a solo pod. And I probably won't be around a lot this upcoming week, so I wanted to make sure I got this one in. As you guys know, it is my last full week at network, and there's a lot of stuff going on. First of all, I have a couple concerts. I'm going to a passenger concert on Tuesday night and a passenger radio event on Monday. So that's going to eat up those 2 days. And then on Wednesday and Thursday, I have a couple dinners with people who wanted to say goodbye. And then next week, there is another little goodbye thing. So very sad. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm really bummed. We talked about this in the last podcast, but very infrequently in my life have I voluntarily quit a job. Usually it is not my choice. I mean, let's be honest. But this time it was my choice. And trust me, I'm excited about where I'm going, and there's going to be great people there, including my sister. And I'm excited to learn new things. But I love everybody I work with now, and they are all my very good friends, and I enjoy spending every day with them. So it is a incredible bummer. And it's, it's funny because I was just talking to a friend about an unrelated situation, and they had to make a tough choice. They're moving to another state for work and personal reasons. And they just texted me and were like, oh, it's so hard. I had dinner with my friend who I'm leaving, and, this sucks. And now I'm mad I'm going. And I totally get that because first of all, you second guess yourself, and it makes you sad and bummed when you leave a bunch of people that you really like. No matter what the situation is, I'm not leaving this job because I hate the people I work with, or it's funny, Stench just hit me with a text that says, just reminding you I work. I'm going to hit him back right now and tell him I actually remembered. Let's see, here we go. Because he'll be amazed that I actually remembered. Usually I don't. All right, I just hit him back, but no, it's, and when you leave something for something you don't know, they always say the hell you know is better than the hell you don't. And I'm not going into a situation where it's going to be bad by far. It's going to be a very good situation, and I'm excited. But, it's still unknown, and I don't know what to expect. And so it is always a little scary, right? You don't know what you're going into, and you're like, well, wait, I know my job after 5 years. I'm very comfortable there, and I know exactly what I have to do to get by and get things done, right? And it's not easy sometimes to change or to make a decision. And I am the king of not wanting to change things. I don't know if you noticed that since I've lived in Burbank like 99% of my life. But yeah, so, and it's been a bummer. My coworkers have not been making it any easier. Actually, the whole situation has not made it any easier in the last couple of weeks. First of all, last week, went to Nashville for work and had a really good time, and the band was super awesome, and I ended up like going out with them all night, and it was like, oh crap, I'm not going to get to do this anymore. And then I come back, and my coworker took me to lunch, and like I'm going to miss them, and it's all a bummer, but you got to do what you got to do, right? And could be and the thing is, I have one coworker who's like, that's it, I'm never going to see you again. I'm like, no, I'll still like be around. I'll know you guys. You know what I mean? Like I guess it'll be up to me, but I'm going to keep in touch with everybody. And it doesn't seem as hard to do nowadays with Facebook and all our modern social media ways, Instagrams and Twitters and whatever the presidents and kids are using nowadays to communicate. So I don't know. But anyway, trust me, I have second-guessed myself 4 million times since I gave notice. But you know what should be a really telling sign that I made the right decision? I didn't get a counteroffer. Now, that goes on corporate. That's not on the people I work with in the building. But they didn't think I was valuable enough to counteroffer, right? So I think I'm making the right choice. And also, again, no slam on anybody I work with, but I've kind of reached my pinnacle there. There's nowhere to go. I can't get promoted any higher. So at some point you have to realize you have to go out to try and keep growing, right? And I'm not young. I gotta do this now before I'm a Walmart greeter, which is eminently my future. So, but this is my last full week, and it is a busy full week. There's a couple, like I said, a couple concerts, all kinds of work stuff going on, and my boss is trying to hire my replacement as quick as possible so that I can train them. So I might even get the person who is going to take over me in there to train. I don't know if that's going to happen, seeing as they haven't hired anybody yet, and there's only 7 work days until I'm out, but we will see. And I have no problem with that. I mean, I would love to make sure that this transition is as smooth as possible. I even offered to stay longer if they needed me to, but they were like, no, we'll make do. But I offered to give, I gave 3 weeks notice, but I offered to stay even longer if I needed to. And like I said, I'm trying to be as cordial with this whole thing as possible because I like everybody and I don't want to screw anybody over. So anyway, that is what has been weighing my mind. Other than that, this weekend, I did a lot of stuff, considering I only had kids half the weekend. So I got Bing on Friday, and I don't remember what Bing and I did. I don't think we did much because Saturday was another Pokemon has realized to keep the excitement of the game going. They have way more events. So there was another Pokemon event on Saturday. It was Zapdos Day, which is a legendary Pokemon. And for 3 hours, they had raids. And we always go down to Santa Monica to do those. So Bing and I had to get up early and head to Santa Monica so we could do those. And then we came back to his mom's and picked up his sister and went out to eat. And then I dropped them off and came home. I didn't really do much last night because then I got up fairly early for a Sunday to go to the Museum of Illusions with my sister. It was something she got tickets to. It's in Hollywood. And there's a new trend. I don't know if you guys have experienced because there's a lot of these going on right now. There's Candytopia in Santa Monica and this Museum of Illusions. They're basically places where they set up scenarios for you to take selfies. As vain and stupid as that sounds, it's a big thing now. And if you haven't heard of Candytopia, look it up. It's a big one where a lot of people go and the tickets are expensive and people do it. And this was another one that my sister found. And it was fun. We went down there and we took a bunch of pictures. It was down in Hollywood. It's where the old Museum of Broken Relationships was, if you were familiar with that, on Hollywood Boulevard. And if not, it is on Hollywood Boulevard, about 2 blocks from Hollywood and Highland. And so we did that. And then we went to Hollywood and Highland, and I watched my sister and Sylvie run through a fountain, which made me glad for a few reasons. One, and you probably saw the video I put on Instagram and Facebook. One, it was nice to see them having fun. And 2, I am glad that my kids are now old enough that I don't have to do that. When you have little kids and there is water, you end up in that water every time. Now my kids are old enough where I can sit by the water and not have to actually be in it when they're in it. And they're also old enough that if we were at Hollywood and Highland, they also wouldn't want to be wet. When they were little, they didn't give a shit if they got wet anywhere. And so they would be the first ones to go into a fountain or whatever, but not now. But my kids weren't there. They left Sunday morning to go to Vegas with their mom on a little vacation. So they were not around. So we did that. And then we went to lunch at the Hard Rock, which I haven't been to the Hard Rock Hollywood since I worked in Hollywood 2 years ago, and we didn't go that often. One time in the 3 years that I worked in Hollywood, we went to lunch at the Hard Rock just as a fluke and as something different. But that was the last time I was there. So it was sometime a little over 2 years ago. And there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, the food is average to good. The atmosphere is average to good. It's very super touristy and it's not awesome, so it's not my first choice. But we were over there, and my sister doesn't like the mac and cheese. Well, more precisely, Sylvie doesn't like the mac and cheese at CPK. There's also a California Pizza Kitchen there, but I guess she didn't dig their mac and cheese, which I totally get, because there are places where Bing will not eat the mac and cheese. Golden Road in Glendale is a perfect example. He hates their mac and cheese. Hates it. He will not get anywhere near it. And that was like the only thing on the menu that he was semi-interested in, so now he just never wants to go there. God, there was someplace else, and I can't remember, where they had horrific, or in Bing's mind, horrific mac and cheese, and he hates it. He doesn't like mac and cheese that varies too much in its consistency or flavor. He likes it to be kind of that orange cheesiness, kind of like like a like Kraft. It can be homemade, but it can't be too chunky or to have weird flavors like onion or garlic powder or something that he can taste. Where his favorite, and actually both kids, Lucy and Bing's favorite mac and cheese is, and they will get it any time of the day or night that I will take them there? Panera. And they want to go all the time, and they wanted to go Saturday night when we were going out to dinner, and I had to talk them out of it because I get sick of Panera. I don't really, to me, the sandwiches are just overpriced and average at Panera, so I usually get a salad, and I can only take so many Panera Greek salads. And so I talked him out of it, and we went to a local place out in Thousand Oaks called, I will plug it because it was really good. It's called Butler's Pizza. It is a mom and pop joint, not a chain, not fancy. It was just, honestly, you could tell it was a mom and pop restaurant. They had high school kids working, which was fun to see because you don't go anywhere anymore and really see high school kids working. They have a handful of tables inside, but it was mainly to-go orders. The food was really good. Lucy had ravioli. It looked excellent. Bing got a slice of pizza, and I got this thing called the layered pizza, which was awesome. So if you find yourself in Thousand Oaks, I highly recommend Butler's Pizza. It was really good. And it was it was like a local business. It was awesome to not, because out that way, most of the restaurants are big chain restaurants. There's not a lot of smaller restaurants. So it was cool to find a mom and pop restaurant that's good, and the service was excellent, and the quality was really, really good. So I highly recommend it if you are in the area. And then the Trader Joe's thing was yesterday. I mean, it was crazy yesterday. I got home after all that stuff with the kids and watched that standoff live on the news. And I don't know how you wouldn't know, but if you haven't heard of it, there was a police chase that ended with the suspect crashing in front of the Silver Lake Trader Joe's and exchanging gunfire as he ran into the store. And as of this morning, I'm still not 100% how she got shot, if it was the criminal or the police firing back at him who hit one of the Trader Joe's employees in the store, and she ended up dying, which is very sad, manager at the Trader Joe's. But luckily, other than that, the standoff ended without anybody else being seriously injured. Now, he also shot his grandma and somebody else at another location, and I don't know how they're doing. But it was really sad. You're working at a supermarket just trying to do your job, and you were shot to death during your shift is obviously super sad and crazy. But Silver Lake was on lockdown yesterday, and throughout the night. I know when I was watching the morning news, they still hadn't opened up the streets yet because they were doing the investigation and everything. So that was craziness on that side of town. Like I said, Bing and I were in Santa Monica, and it was wild in Santa Monica. I mean, first of all, it's crazy crowded. It's summer, and you shouldn't go anywhere near Santa Monica in the summer. I'm going to warn you right now. We go all the time for Pokemon, but it is crazy crowded. You have to be willing to deal with crazy crowded insanity. But there were a ton of ambulances, and we saw the police, and so I don't know if it was just, due to more crowds and more bullshit going on, or I don't know if the beach was extra rough. I don't know what was going on, but it was craziness in Santa Monica. What else is going on in the world? We covered a lot of stuff there. I told you I have a busy week. I probably will miss the rest of the pods, if not. No, tomorrow for sure, because I'm not going to get back from Marina Del Rey until late. And then Tuesday for sure, which is the Wednesday pod. And then maybe I can be on the Thursday one, but then the Friday pod for sure, I will not be here. So I apologize in advance. But we also have to wrap this up soon and, not wrap it up, switch to once a week. I'm still looking for a site that it will be friendly to everybody's concerns for ease of download. But I'm hoping by mid-August to get that in. Because also now at the new job, I'm going to start commuting and I'm not going to get home until later. And that was another deciding factor. I walk to work. It doesn't get easier than that, and I will no longer be able to walk. But anyway, so yeah, we're gonna get that figured out. I was talking with my sister the other day, and we might have a site or two that we thought might work because she also, like me, was a big proponent of YouTube. But I explained to her your guys' concerns, and so we're working on alternatives. I'm trying to think if anything else interesting happened in my world in the last 2 or 3 days since we spoke. I don't think so. I'm trying to think if anything when Bing and I were out on when I was getting Bing on Friday. But I don't think so. Like I said, we kept it kind of mellow because we knew we had a long day on Saturday. My apartment is so hot and the air conditioning situation sucks so bad. And I don't care when I'm awake. It's going to sleep that's the hard part. I'm trying to cool it down right now. And tonight I'm already bitching, and tonight's not the hottest. And I was watching the news, and they said the issue is not necessarily how hot it's going to be during the day, because it will be hot there. Like, it's not going to drop at night. It's going to be like Vegas hot here. It'd be like 85, which is awesome. If, like, when I was in high school, and I remember it would be hot in the summer, and if I had a job, I only worked like 2 or 3 days a week, I would just stay up all night and then sleep all day. Like when it started to get cool at like 5 in the morning, you go to bed and then you sleep until noon, or when it's just starting to heat up. But sadly, when you're an adult, that does not work in the real world. So, what else do I have to tell you guys? Yeah, I'm excited for one of my, as I wrap up my record label career here, the thing I'm doing tomorrow is going with the KCSN, the radio station here in, it's actually in Orange County now too. It's KSBR in Orange County, 88.5. That we are taking Passenger out on a hornblower harbor cruise, and he is going to perform, which will be pretty awesome. I'm going to miss, getting to go to all the cool concerts with work and with the network crew. The good news is I know everybody, they'll still get me tickets if I want to go, but I won't have as much time, and I won't be, when something isn't your job, you tend to find excuses not to go do it, right? Even as much as I enjoy doing that stuff, it'll be like, no, I'm tired. No, I drive a lot. I mean, that happens in everything, right? As soon as you don't have to, you just don't do it. Get fat and lazy, and I am getting fat and lazy. I haven't been on my walking regime. I want to get back into that. I want to get back to eating better. I did not eat good in Nashville, although it's hard to eat. I mean, I ate well, don't get me wrong. Just didn't eat healthy or the things. I was really trying to cut back on meat lately, and I've done a really good job, but not in Nashville. In Nashville, I ate a lot of crap. I'm not going to lie, and a lot of burgers. I'm trying to get my life back into order. I was thinking about it. It's been, I think, just a little over 10 years since my divorce. And in that time, I've never made as much money as I made the day I got divorced. Or not the day it was legal, but the day everything got filed. I still am not back to that amount of money, which was only half of what I had been making prior to that. Because remember, I was out of work for like a year and a half before I got divorced. So it would be awesome to work my way back up to a sustainable living. It would be awesome to have some kind of sustainable social life at some point and get to see the kids more often, which is part of this new job. Is awesome. It's right down the street from their school. So when there is random crazy school shit, I will be able to go no problem, which is awesome. And that, I think you've listened to me whine and talk about my depression, even though it's good and bad, right? I mean, I'm not like depressed. It's more just sad leaving one thing and excited to do the new. So my mixed feelings, I think I've bored you long enough with my mixed feelings and my bitching about the heat. So I will cut this a little shorter and let you know, like I said, I probably won't be here for the next few days. I'm going to try and squeeze one other podcast in this week. But you guys will be left in the more than capable and sweaty and chubby hands of Stench, and he will take very good care of you, I am sure. And I will talk to you as soon as I can. And if not, look for me on social media to post pictures and to share with you that way until I can get back on the podcast. So you guys stay very cool. You can put your pants back on, but I don't recommend it. Normally, I would tell you to put your pants back on. But in this case, I'd say wait until at least next Sunday, if not later, to put your pants back on. Because from all the reports I'm seeing, it's going to stay super hot through next weekend. So let's keep those pants off. Yeah, it'll be a little awkward. People will look, but what do we care? We'll be a little cooler, right? And we will chat again soon. So until then, jack off.